gonna be rich.
It's gonna be rich.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Fights. It is our Friday night match show for THL. I'm Donde, excited to be here on this first stream after the new mini set launches. And joining me this evening, Dr. Fish. Fish, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing well. I'm very excited to see the new decks that I haven't played yet. And like the new cards in action. I've played a couple of them, but no, this is a super exciting match.
Yeah, definitely always fun to see what players come up with in the very fresh meta here. We're just 3 days beyond, or not even 3 days beyond the expand or the mini set being released. We had the bugs get fixed, so like there's been all sorts of jockeying for like the best lists and the best classes here. And I think the fact that we have 7 different classes in the one match that we're casting tonight just shows that this is far from solved. Everybody's got a different idea of what's the right bring right now in a conquest setting, and that's what we're going to see tonight. So it's going to be Chronic for Hot Zilfs versus Jespin of Illidan's Death Knights. So two storied franchises, so to speak, here that have been around for a while. Chronic and Jespin are both 4-2, and they are going to be facing off with Paladin, Priest, Rogue, and Warrior on Chronic's side, and Demon Hunter, Rogue, and Warrior on Jespin's side. So just what pops out to you immediately when you take a look at these lineups here, Fish?
I personally haven't been keeping too much with Demon Hunter, so like I know that there is still an aggressive Naga DH deck, and I believe it looks like it's gotten a little bit of a facelift with the buff to G-Log, the Colossal for Demon Hunter. I'm curious to see kind of where Jess wants to take the DH. Likewise, I think Priest is interesting for Chronic. There is
Definitely
a couple of ways he could technically go with it, and I think the ban from Chronic could tell a little bit about maybe what the Priest could be.
Yeah, we've seen that Bless Priest, the Inner Fire-esque kind of
Yeah.
Naga-based priest. Boar
Mhm.
priest is still a thing. Quest priest
Yeah.
has seen a little mini resurgence here. That is to say, we don't know, I guess, if it's going to sustain and be around a long time. People are certainly experimenting with it with some of the new cards. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ways that could definitely go. The rogue's interesting as well to me.
Yeah. There's
Because
Mine Rogue as well now.
Mine Rogue is just one of those, some people will be mad because it's not as interactive as a lot of decks, and sometimes it just draws what it draws to get you down to 0 as quick as
Mhm.
possible, and that can happen in a blink of an eye. But there's also still just the standard Thief Rogue. Quest Rogue is kind of sitting out there too. So there's a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
I'm realizing I said 7 decks, but they're actually 6 because Rogue and Warrior are showing up on both lineups here. So math is hard, counting
No,
is hard.
there's no Rogue on Chronic side. You're right.
There's no Rogue and Chronic set. I must have.
No, Shaman.
It's Shaman on Chronic set. Okay, so the graphic is wrong. My brain was right. Okay,
Yeah,
so that still
Paladin,
means I'm
Priest,
wrong.
Shaman, Warrior from Chronic. The Shaman's interesting. I mean, there is technically Murloc Shaman, which is a newer aggressive deck, and it can have some very good matchups. It's kind of like Murloc Warlock in that it kind of has the ability to beat the fast decks. And
Definitely.
also one thing for Murloc Shaman is it's good into Naga Priest from this early stats on HS Replay at least. So I'm curious, like Hunter is also something that can be kind of interesting. There's a couple ways to take Hunter. I think these players have brought like some of the most interesting classes. They all are there's a lot of flexibility despite being in a 4-set meta currently. It's really neat to see.
Absolutely, and I updated the graphics so that is now accurate. For anybody who's coming in late, you'll never know that I made a mistake when I had all day to set this up. So that's okay. But I did let the players know that they can go ahead and get Bannon. So
Sure.
Chronic a little disappointed we're not using cams tonight. Understand he likes he likes to be flashing on stream, but this is okay. So we did get the bans in. Jess has banned Shaman.
Okay, that makes sense.
So even though I fixed the graphic, we won't see the Shaman, and the Warrior is banned for Jess.
Warrior slammed. Okay, so that tells me a little bit about Chronic's lineup potentially. So
definitely does.
yes. So I kind of have an idea of what his entire lineup would be at that point.
Well, watch you lay it on us.
Banning Warrior tells me it's probably Holy Paladin, Naga Priest, and whatever Shaman it is, because Shaman just hates Warrior in general. And I guess really the Warrior doesn't matter. It can be Control or Charge, and you can still just ban the Warrior because of the other classes.
Right.
So Warrior's still kind of the one I would be a little questionable on. Yeah, for sure. But if he brought like Mech Paladin, or Priest, and Quest Warrior, I really wouldn't expect a Warrior ban. But he has not. But he slammed the Warrior, so it's a little bit of an interesting. There's still some flexibility within the lineup, but I think for sure, I think for sure the Warrior is a solid ban because a deck like Charge Warrior just does really nutty things.
Yeah, Charge Warrior is one of those decks that, like you said, it's it's capable. Obviously, it has its preferred matchups, and
yes,
it's just kind of one of those decks that's capable. Sometimes, if you draw the right things, you will just go fast, and that's also depending on how you construct it. Some people do one faceless, some people do 2, so it can change the consistency but increase the survivability. So it is obviously a little bit can be tweaked to what you expect to see your opponent bring. So definitely would be something that I expect to see here. So just getting the bans updated on screen here for everybody, and then we will get them going in the match. It's going to be Chronic on the bottom of your screen. Or, I'm sorry, Chronic on the top of your screen, Jespin on the bottom of your screen. So when we go in...
Got Mr. Jespin on the bottom, so he'll be first to spectate.
First to spec, you got it. So
yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and give them the okay. All right, they have been notified. We will get this going here. And
for sure.
Hopefully we have ourselves an exciting match.
Definitely. It's always in Legacy. It's very difficult to think about what lead decks are. I think I have been swayed to go with in Legacy and Conquest format to just go with the randomizer for my first deck, and then from there I can
Yeah.
kind of pick and choose.
I think that's a pretty common strategy for a lot of people, especially when there's a lot of iffy matchups. Like if there's no slam dunk for you, perfectly fine to just go with a random. Yeah.
Yeah, hero is where it matters a lot, but we don't have a hero. But we do not have last hero standing. This is Conquest format, best of 5. Each deck has to get 1 win. If it's win, you're done. If you lose, you can bring it back. Okay.
Priest and Paladin.
Okay, so this is a Thief Rogue, I would believe, from Jess, and a Paladin from Chronic.
Right.
Indeed, it is a Holy Paladin. Let's hope that I would guess, because we cannot see them typing, that they did that Jess mentioned Maestro before doing this.
Yes, we will hope that if they have not DQ'd.
yeah, they've hurt their deck. Yeah.
It threw me off while I was setting up the icons here for this match, because I tried. I was like, "Where is the priest for Jespin?" And there is no priest for Jespin. So even us knowing the rogue exists, I still couldn't get it correct. But, that's okay.
I saw it and I was like, "Wait, no, this is not Chronic. This is a rogue."
Well, there we go. It is accurately represented here as we move into turn 2. Yeah, it's an interesting. This might. I have seen some of the bomb rogues have these fillets in them, but this is seeming like just a very aggressive rogue here that might not necessarily be a bomb rogue.
I agree. I saw a reconnaissance in the mulligan, so I'm guessing it's a thief rogue for that purpose.
That's a very, very telltale sign that it is not going to be.
This is a really good aggressive start for Jess.
Absolutely.
Having the 2 fighters out. Battle Vicar picked. I like the holy Maki roll.
I think that's a pick you had to make here, because Immortalize is something that you'd like to ideally get to, but if you pick it and you don't even get there, then it does you no good. He's got the Light Ray in hand, which is one of the new cards, taunt that decreases in cost for every Paladin card you've played. So Maki Roll is a great generator for that card. Gets it down a lot quicker.
Agreed, yeah. I suspect we'll probably see something like a trade and maybe the Myrmidon get played, or a Bannerman. I guess Bannerman's also okay here. It still also contests the other fighter, but it will die. It would die to a swing of the weapon. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get some Maki rolls. Gonna discount the Light Ray.
Yeah, that's I don't hate that. You've already taken a bunch of damage, so at this point you're gonna get full value off of every cast of the Maki roll, and just go ahead and clear one of these minions off the board and be ready to Light Ray next turn. You can even well, no, you can't. You don't want to coin equality just to get a discount on the Light Ray, especially when there's only 1 minion and it already has 1 health. So it'll probably just be a straight up Light Ray, I would imagine, next turn.
Definitely. I wonder if we'll see the Blade Master Okani here from Jess. But it looks like he's gonna end up going potentially with this Wild Palm Noel instead. Not quite as discounted because there wasn't really there wasn't a great way to discount it, and just getting out the 2/3 was very solid at the beginning. Here's Okani. I wonder if he'll pick minion or spell here.
Minion would seem to be the pick, just because knowing that Light Ray might be a possibility coming down. If you've been doing the math, it is a minion counter. So this is actually, that's not a bad pickup though, because Chronic can go ahead and test right away, knows that it's a minion, and he can just go ahead and throw this this Pyro down if he wants to. Or is he going to use the Bannerman instead?
I don't know. I think he's going to throw the Bannerman. I wonder. My guess is if he's doing that, is that he is valuing the
equality
with the Pyromancer. Very likely here to just use the hero power.
Yep.
Yeah,
It feels bad to take a little bit more damage next turn, but it does go ahead and get get rid of the Okani battle cry. And now, kind of hoping if you're Chronic that your opponent overextends here into the board, which would include that Wild Pawn Knoll we see in Jess's hand. But
Yeah,
there's a lot of good choices here for Jess, including that Scabs in a few turns.
now he knows that Scabs is on the bottom. He has to make the decision if he how much he wants to value it in this matchup,
Right.
or if he wants to wait for his second Gauntfish and maybe take it and go for the Shroud of Concealment potentially instead, which can get some more immediate value on the next turn.
Yeah, and that looks like what we're going to see here, that Shroud. I mean, having Edwin in hand as well, there is a lot of ways to generate card draw and potentially find that fishing, like you said. So that Scabs is not necessarily dead on the bottom of the deck as it is, though it is not something you necessarily want to see if you aren't planning on grabbing the Scabs at that exact moment. But Chronic is looking a little bit weak right now.
I agree, and he's going to end up going for the Pyro Equality play.
Yeah, no real option here.
Yeah, and that couldn't get potentially punished here by an Edwin. I wouldn't be surprised to just see Edwin slammed and see what gets drawn here. But we're going to go for the Reconnaissance first instead. Nothing too great.
Well, the Fangbound Druid is immediately playable and a taunt, so that's not terrible.
Yeah, the Jailer is also immediately playable, and it does discount the Null.
That's true. Oh, and the Ashara gets eaten. I mean, it can come back. It's not a permanent.
Yeah, for sure.
Permanent removal, but that is out of the cards that it could have taken. I think Chronic is pretty happy to see that the Light Ray stays in hand here.
Yeah. Oh, that Righteous Defense is great. Let's see if it hits.
What a top deck! It hits the light. Oh no, it didn't hit the light ray.
No, it hits the Smite.
It hit the Smite. It made the animation right above the Light Ray, and I thought for a second it might.
Oh yeah, it hit the Mr. Smite, so that's a 9/10 Mr. Smite right now. Shroud, a likely play here. Could also go for an Edwin potentially. Like there is Shadow Step, but there's really no reason to go for that when you don't have a way to do a whole lot with it. Shroud is nice because you can grab potentially your Smite. You can potentially get his Mr. Smite himself. Wild Paul Knoll also not bad at all. It'll clear the Light Ray off. He can decide to tank with face. I think he would want to force Chronic to have to remove it to get his Queen Ajara back. So, for sure.
Or, yeah, Shadow Step it means that Ajara is never coming back.
He's going to Shadow Step it and Queen Ajara is gone. And now it eats his Mr. Smite.
Yeah, that's a...
Oh, man, he's gotta remove that. And
well, the Righteous Defense number 2, it's going to be a slightly larger Myrmidon.
Yeah, but if Jess is able to find the other Shadow Step, then this is almost his game over. For sure. Prep for a Shroud potentially. I like Edwin a little bit more here.
Yeah. Having that prep in hand is good with the Edwin, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. He can, even if something is not super playable like that, now now I can prep my Vessel. And you're in a pretty good position here. Can't really remove the 6/9 here yet.
Oh, that was just 1 mana too much. Yeah, unfortunate for Jess because you wanted to get that Edwin just out of range of this Myrmidon.
Garden's Grace is really good. Oh,
and he gets to draw a card as well.
Oh, he does get to draw. Oh, the other Garden's Grace.
What?
That's huge, but it's not
city tax for extra health.
That is huge. That's lethal. That's lethal. That's lethal.
Oh no, it doesn't come back.
No, never mind.
With its buffs, it doesn't come back with its buffs.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't come back. Though, this is all of a sudden a very scary. Like now, if you're Chronic, you're sitting here thinking, do I survive through this next turn with 2 cards in his hand? He's just gonna smite it. Just take out the 6/5.
Yeah, I think you could smite. I think you smite the 6/5. I think that's
absolutely.
Because there's no direct removal. You get rid of the Edwin with the smite. And now there's no good lethal. So one huge turn. I didn't even consider the draw factor of that. I was like, man, holy the Garden's Grace. You just want to get your smite back and smite Garden's Grace eventually. But it looks like we're in for a good situation here for Chronic to take game 1. We'll see. It's not over yet. Smite.
This is where
Shroud
Jessamine
can do-
really would have loved to have that scabs, but
Yeah, unable to find it. He can't even dredge it up now.
no.
So
Well, I was
yeah.
gonna say actually, if no, there's no way it would have been from if the first
So the Thick High Kodo
Yeah.
saves him for a turn.
potentially potentially saves for a turn depending on the top deck
But-
here.
Also, I think is this? Oh, this is 2-turn potentially.
Yeah, now Chronic has to have some sort of answer here.
He does. He has to get something to remove. Okay.
Well,
He has
Flashlight's a good
heal.
start.
Flash of Light is good. Can get a spell that can remove the minion. Potentially. Oh, he gets Myrmidon. This is not a great position. The smite
it's
is in
over.
hand. It is over.
Smite is wow.
Smite is lethal. The Thick Hide Kodo off the reconnaissance saved the game.
Yeah, that was a very
back
up
and
and down
forth.
match. Yeah.
Yeah, back and forth, up and down. I guess it's more up and down, but for sure. And Jespin takes game 1 with the Thief Rogue. Yeah, the Shrouds are so good in that deck because if you can have a good chance of just getting your Smite, because most of his other minions had been drawn at that point. I don't quite know the deck list, but I would guess that was almost a guarantee. That was like probably maybe at best a 66% chance to draw your Smite because you're drawing twice. It's like a 1 in 3 and a 1 in 2, maybe. But yeah.
Yeah, with that, we are now looking at a 1-0 lead for Jess, and this being Conquest, as we talked about. That means that deck is no longer playable in this format here. Don't need to play it again because you just need to win once with every deck that you have. Chronic can play that Paladin again if he chooses here, but might opt to go with a different deck depending on how he views the remainder of Jess's queues. Anfall mentions I'm casting teammate. It's true. I was not told that this match was going to be my teammate before it got booked, and that is bad luck normally. So thanks for bringing that one up.
I will say I was the one who accepted the.
That's okay.
I was the one who accepted the match, not knowing that it was your team.
No, that's totally fine. It's just it is kind of an ongoing. It's not a meme. It's actually a very legitimately like a curse. So
yeah. All right.
That's okay. We'll see
so
if
it's
Chronic can
beast.
break it.
So it's like hybrid Big Beast and Naga Hunter, like Big Beast Hunter from Jess, and it's the Paladin run back for Chronic. I think Jess is probably just considering trading versus not trading. Murkwater gives a little incentive to perhaps not trade, but I kind of like it, especially when you get a card, especially when you get Harpoon Gun from
Harpoon Gun, very, very good card.
Yeah. Cool. Murkwater Scribe for tracking. That is quite a good pickup. Knight of Anointment came in and did pick up, I believe, a Equality.
The Equality, yes. Which is a very important card in this matchup. I mean, not that Equality... It's an important card in almost every matchup, anything that's board-based, of course, but this deck in particular is very, very much board-centric, but interesting.
For sure.
Got the Ooze there.
Yeah, so the Ooze teched against Cariel. For sure.
Yeah, just interesting that it's that and not a Viper.
Because Viper can get pulled by Pet Collector.
Oh, very interesting. Good point. Yep.
Yeah, so he went with a non-beast weapon removal. Very smart.
Makes sense to me.
Ooh, Vicar has another Maki roll offered. For sure. I think that's really good, especially with Myrmidon. You have one in hand already. I believe. No, I think he actually mulliganed it back.
Yeah, I can see Reckoning here too, just because there will be a point in this game where there are very, very large minions trying to hit you in the face. But Maki Roll is just a good all-purpose card, so yes, Maki Roll is the pick here.
Mm-hmm.
Down
the Harpoon Gun
almost immediately.
Jarn Saber. That's now a one mana rusher coming in next turn potentially. That probably gets played, but also School Teacher's very good. Let's see for Chronic. I would guess probably a Myrmidon. It does unfortunately play. It does unfortunately probably just get sacked. This is kind of get sacked, but you would. But
Yeah.
but on board it looks really good because obviously it looks really nice because they have to trade a 3/2 and their face into my 3/4 to kill it. Obviously we have caster vision, but I think I think just putting it on board is nice. For sure.
I guess the question here becomes, how aggressive do you want to get? The follow-up turn. A follow-up could be, reviving it right straight away. But
Yeah.
it feels like that might be a card that in this matchup you want to hold on for a little later. Though having the ooze in hand means you do have the quick carriel counter. Mm-hmm. So we are going to see, we're going to see that Saber come right back immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this.
And you know what? Draw a Sunken Saber off the bottom of your deck. Why not?
Yeah, it's really good. This is a very good start for
Jess. Chronic. Okay, so Blade Master Samuro comes into hand. There is no way to get any stats on it right now, but you can always combo it later on with like an equality.
Right, which we do see in hand right now.
Okay, so we're going to see the equality. We're going to see the Pyro City tax, which will remove the board, which is quite good. Sunken Saber gets drawn, but this means that the Saber gets to attack and summon a beast.
Yeah, depending on what it is, if it's King Crush, this could be very, very troubling for Chronic.
Yeah, for sure. Even Mountain Bear is like not really something you want to see.
Oh, yeah, and there it is. I mean, there are only so many beasts in the deck that odds are that you're gonna find something very quality, and Mountain Bear is very sticky.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a bit of a toss-up between Ramming Mount and Tracking, but I feel like Ramming Mount's just kind of good. Like, I don't
like he is unless Jess suspects he's gonna get, unless he suspects that his minions are gonna get full removed here, which would be tough for Paladin to have exactly 2 clears for this board,
right?
Especially because it would take a coin with equality to actually deal with it. But we're gonna get Maki Roll. So a lot of draw here, which is nice.
There's that other equality. Actually, there's 2 qualities in hand right now because he did not use an equality to clear the board before. So technically, can still equality Samuro. Quality also pairs up with that second Pyro that I would assume is in the deck. We haven't seen 2 Pyros yet.
Yeah, but I would guess there's 2 Pyros.
Yeah, that's almost assured.
Thing. Here comes the Pet Collector coming down, likely for the Sunken Saber. Oh,
that's
wow.
Right. The Saber off the bottom
Crush,
of the deck.
So this very likely pulls
second Mountain Bear.
Second Bear.
That's you either get a lot of damage right away or you get a lot of sticky, hard to remove stuff.
Yeah, this is actually like pretty good for I think this is not too bad for Chronic. I'm just trying to think on the back end, how much damage does he take here?
Well, there's going to be 4 of the bears pop out of the
Mama Bear. 2/2 plus a 2/2, so that's lethal. Yeah, it should be lethal back from Jess, because there'll be 5 minions plus a hero power.
Yep, absolutely, and nothing on Chronic's side that he can do. So it's just going to be a concede, and we move to game 3.
Without the Ramming Mount, he has a chance to survive there. Pending I don't even, because there couldn't be a Sunken Saber summon to get Crush. So yeah, at this point you have to consider the Paladin just has to win with Demon Hunter. And depending on the deck, the Holy Paladin does have pretty decent odds into a Naga Demon, into like a Naga Demon Hunter deck. Also considering the fact that he has Warrior, he probably wants to play his Warrior here into it. But we'll see if we see the Paladin again. Nope. We switch over to the Warrior, which is a very good matchup for the Warrior, very likely. I mean, there's a chance that things can get out of control, but there's very specific cards that this Warrior's going to be looking for out of the mulligan. Also, the Demon Hunter this is a pretty good hand with the battle worn Vanguard. He opts to keep Herald of Chaos and then just take battle worn. Not the best 2 cards to come back, especially seeing the Spectral Sight. Without an ability to get it to without the ability to outcast it very quickly. It won't get outcasted quickly at all because it's in a super awkward position next to a G-Log.
Yeah, this is a clunky, like the construction of the hand is very clunky. Not necessarily the cards that you've gotten there are what you want, just not where you want them necessarily.
Agreed. Yeah, so we're gonna go for the Rust-worn Vanguard here. The battle-worn Vanguard. Meanwhile, just the hero power from the Warrior.
Yeah, Chronic has some options here with the shield block, and he can always Finley try to find some other stuff, but right now, like, you're looking for Shield Shatter. That's the card that you want, and it doesn't have it right now.
For sure. Jess is putting a lot out on board here that I mean, there really isn't a super good punish. So the shield block coming in is just going to mitigate the damage.
Mm-hmm.
Next turn, the 4 mana, the new Igneous Lava Gorger is a very good card. It'll allow for Dredge. Hopefully you find something good out of it. Essentially, is what Chronic is going to look for. You're like, even if you find like Buckler or Shield Shatter, like half of it, you'll still have a good chance to like survive.
Well, Shield Shatter, you immediately get the 10 armor as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah, so it could be just immediately playable, but now you're looking at Outrider's Axe, Heavy Plate, and From the Depths here. Heavy Plate, armor, always good, but not really, can't do a draw and get the armor, so you could always From the Depths here and see what else pops up.
Yeah, Depths is really good next turn, because if he wants to, he can Depths, and if he doesn't like, and like if he can go like Depths and just not pick the Outrider's Axe, and then Finlay. Because realistically, this hand is very clunky for like cost. It's just it costs so much. Honestly, this is looking pretty like, Buckler Shatter off of like a Finlay. It can be devastating.
Yeah, it might have to be you can start with the
Depths.
Yeah, you can start with the Depths, obviously discount everything and see what you get. I think you probably take the Axe to hand, or to the top of the deck, I should say, so that way it's not part of the draw. Yeah, because that's the thing you want least out of those 3 cards. So that's
you definitely want the Heavy Plate. You definitely want that. You're looking for a Shatter from here.
Not the Heavy Plate.
Didn't find the Shatter. And I think
Tidal Revenant too expensive to play, but it is 8 armor, and then Heavy Plate can just be thrown down. But you probably want to hold that so that way you can combo it with the.
I agree. You combo it.
Yeah, the
with the Onyxian Drake to remove a threat. But Jess has a lot going on here. He's got the outcasted Spectral Sight. He has Viper. He has a lot of decent stuff here. He could if once he removes one of his minions, he can easily play like this Slither Spear potentially. Yeah, we're just gonna get rid of these 1/1s because they're super clunky, and then attack. I just guess you face tank it because you're dealing 2 damage to the face because it's Dread Prison Glaive.
Yeah, I think it's more than fine to just do that because you don't have to
I agree.
overcommit whatever's in your hand. You just keep getting 1/1s, and at this point, Chronic hasn't shown the fact that he has a way to clear the board. And even if that's the case, if you say, okay, clear my 1/1s, I've got stuff to put down afterwards.
Yeah,
And that Karya, unfortunately, because of the Z-Lag in hand, that's what you want to hit with the Karya. So
yeah.
that's kind of a bit of a unfortunate situation
Mhm.
there for Jess.
Yeah,
I agree. It's definitely not great, but this heavy plate Onyxian Drake is solid just because it represents 10 armor and he can remove I would remove a 2/2 and then I guess I would just eat the Finley into the 3/1 very likely.
Yeah, I think that's fine here. And then you've
Um
got the raid boss Onyxia for next turn.
yeah, because Onyxia is just is just generally very devastating.
I guess technically you don't
yeah,
even have to play the heavy plate if you don't want to right now.
yeah.
You're not going to die from here.
I guess.
So yeah,
Yeah, no, he's not dead,
yeah, so
but
that's totally fine.
yeah.
I think that's a fine marshaling of the resources, just because you still have the
Ooh.
possibility, the thought of I can go ahead and trade this in a pinch if I need to, rather
Yeah.
than the 8 armor. So I'm fine with that. Yeah, I think that's fine.
I also am fine with it too, yeah. Onyxia is gonna be really Onyxia is just gonna be really good next turn. Predation is a good pickup as well. It allows the Herald of Chaos to come down with lifesteal, but I mean, do you really care about playing the Herald of Chaos here as much as maybe trading the Viper and looking for something else?
Yeah, I
Because
think that's probably the case here.
Because especially if you can find something like Steno, I guess
I can understand why Jess is doing this. It's because he wants to have that there for later. He's probably just trading to just trading like his face to deal the extra 2 damage for sure. And we're just gonna see this whole board probably. We're seeing most of this board disappear. I don't know if the whole board can get cleared.
No, you can take out all but 2 1/1s with just the Onyxia.
Just Onyxia, yeah. Which is pretty much has to happen here, and can also just play the heavy plate, I guess.
Actually, no.
Because
I'm sorry. I was forgetting that the Onyxia itself can rush.
yeah,
Yeah,
Onyxia
so no.
rushes, yeah.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No,
Yeah,
so there's all but 1.
Yeah, all but a 1/1, yeah. For sure. That goes into 3/4. Just trade off that, yeah. It is 1 minion left up for
And good recognition there by Chronic to use the heavy plate, knowing that if Z-Lag comes out, it could potentially lethal, or not be lethal, but just be. Or actually, it could. I guess it technically could be lethal, right? That's what 4, 8. Nah, it wouldn't be lethal.
Nope,
not even close. Math is hard. We learned that at the top of the show.
But we're gonna see Z-Log come down here regardless, very likely. Which isn't, it's the best. It's pretty much the best play. The Slither Spear is not what Jess wants to see here. There really isn't a way to deal with, like, okay, yeah, there was a potential for that to be pretty devastating. If Z-Log couldn't get removed, but now Z-Log can get removed. What is Tidal Revenant? Deal 5 damage, gain 8 armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like. I like this ordering here. Going to draw first, see what you get.
I like drawing first. Yeah.
And you can. And
there's a Shield Shatter.
Finally finds the Shield Shatter. It's been 13 cards deep, and after the Finley, but that might be enough to stabilize here, because now the Z-Log has already been played, and you've already cleared a second board or wide board without using either Shield Shatter. That might be enough to just kind of get over the hump here. But
maybe, yeah.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight.
Yeah, I think Jess has to consider what to do with this Viper pretty soon, because I think holding the Viper in hand when you have a decent chunk of mana like this,
right?
He's just gonna play it out. Okay, yeah, that's a respectable. Get rid of the weapon. Predation clears that, and now he's pushing the extra damage, and the armor goes away again. Luckily, there's a lot of armor cards in this deck, which will allow the Shatter to get played.
Unknowingly to Jess as well, the Rakara was part of that first hand that got pushed to the back of the deck. So that's another, that's obviously the optimal weapon to use it on, but in this case, we know that it's not something that's going to show up just naturally here in the next few turns, or be in hand.
Yeah, for sure. So unfortunately, there's just with the 8 mana for the minion it just doesn't do enough damage to shatter.
Yeah, it's one.
It's just
yeah,
one mana off.
One, yeah,
Yeah.
1 mana off of being able to shield shatter, but it is still getting rid of a minion.
Agreed, yeah. And
It does make that Fell Barrage much less attractive.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, because he can't remove all of the armor to just go. He can't remove enough health to just go straight to the face of Chronic with that.
And no matter what, Chronic can use the Shield Shatter next turn, because obviously he'll have 10 mana, can always just Hero Power Shield Shatter. So, you know, provided that there's nothing that goes on board with more than 5 health, which Carrier would live by 1, you know, he'll be able to clear most of this board here.
For sure. And probably just wants to find a way to remove the minion, potentially here, just to let the stalks remove 4 armor. But without Carrier, like you said, it's gonna be tough. Carrier's gonna come down. Okay, that's good. There's really not gonna be much armor left here for Chronic. He's gonna have to.
Yeah, he's gonna have no armor left because the stalks will hit here for 2 each,
and that's 9 health. So just doing a really great job keeping up.
Buckler.
There's the buckler.
Finally finds the combo.
Wait.
Ooh, he's gonna,
he could have gone for the. I guess he's gonna look for another way to deal.
I mean, you're looking at very low health, I guess, but yeah, the frozen buckler will come down.
Yeah, he can also use the extra. I was gonna say if he's gonna do that, he just probably wants to attack into the Carrier, even though it doesn't draw. That way you full clear.
I agree. It's a scary proposition, but knowing that Jess had no cards in hand, I think that, and has used both Spectral Sights already, I think that that's perfectly fine to go ahead and set yourself pretty low.
But now the second Revenant's here, and that should probably close this game out, honestly.
But that is something Chronic did not know about until he drew with the.
And there's the second buckler.
So, yeah, this is more than enough here at this point. I think we were still looking at Kazakhstan needing 2 dragons to activate, so it is still just an 8/8 in hand. But you know, if you title Revenant here and Hero Power. I mean, there's always a chance that you just drop Kaz as an 8/8 next turn.
I mean, yeah, you could just drop Kaz as an 8/8. I wouldn't mind that. I don't mind even playing the buckler here for the extra armor.
Sure.
I wonder if he's gonna use this to trade and then Revenant into the face.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
which I can also see. There's a heavy plate as well. For trading, I would just trade it at this point because I have so much armor. Puffer Fist is a good pickup, but it's not going to do a whole lot.
Yeah, not at this stage, unfortunately.
No, and it's setting up technically a 2-turn lethal if the Tempest can't get removed, the Tidal Revenant, because of the weapon. Actually, no, it's not a guarantee because the weapon only has 1 more swing in it. Yeah, it's getting down to the Warrior only having 12 cards in deck, so there's going to be a lot of good cards coming up here soon. There's still Second from the Depths. There's Mutanus, which Mutanus with eating a minion could just, it's just a lot of extra damage. There's a Second Depths.
Oh, Depths, and then you can always draw it with the heavy plate.
Depths and draw it with heavy plate. Yeah, it's
Rokara
or Nelly. I don't know, which one would you have picked there? He went for the Rokara.
Rokara's a safe bet. I think. I mean, he could have even just swung here to save the weapon, but
for sure,
I don't think it really is going to matter at this.
I think it's almost better to do this because you're doing more damage. It just sets it up. It sets it up faster. He has a guaranteed lethal now.
I mean, it would have been guaranteed next turn anyway, though, because it would have been 2 less damage because he swung for 3 instead of 5.
You're right. You're right.
He would have had the hero power. I mean, either way, at that point, you're going from a 99.9% chance to win to a 99.8. So it's really,
I guess so.
Yeah, we're just nitpicking at this point, but
yeah, at that point, either way got there. I didn't count the damage the other way, but you had it on. You had that in the back of your head, which is good. So yeah, I guess at this point you probably play because the matchup probably favors the Paladin more than it would favor the Priest. I think you would play the Paladin here. I know.
Yeah, I know that depending on the Priest, obviously, if it's like a
Yeah,
quest priest, it could very
true.
well, be geared to stop the aggro. So,
Here to stop aggro. You're right. Yeah, and I don't know the deck. Um,
but I would say, yeah, paladin is more likely in almost every scenario, knowing that it's holy and knowing
yeah,
that it's built to stop these aggressive decks. But
yeah,
that's what we see.
yeah. I was gonna say the only way I would see Chronic not playing the Paladin is if he feels a little shaky on his gameplay after the first two games. But I think that this is
Yeah.
just a really. I mean, I just think he has a. It looks like he has a much better start. Just off the mulligan. I think here you probably toss Maki roll. You probably toss roll plus one Vic. You can even just toss
I
like a
don't even know
roll.
if you toss either Vicar, because honestly, like whatever spells you get are going to get discounted
Yeah,
when you carry all. So
agreed.
like knowing that
Yeah,
this is an aggressive deck, you might even just like coin out a Vicar and then have a second Vicar on turn 2,
I agree.
so that way you
I
have
can see
something
that.
to contest board.
I can see that. Yeah, and he only
Oh, in the
opts. He
light
only opts to
ray.
get rid of. He gets the light ray, but light ray and so light ray will get a little bit of we'll get a little bit of discount here for the first couple of turns. Um, we'll see what the draw is. If it's something like city tax, you might just trade it away and save the coin for turn 4
Mhm.
or for turn 3 to coin out a carriel, depending on what the demon hunter
I was
has.
gonna say, I think it vastly depended on what the first play from Jess was. Like if it was something that like a Slither Spear that was just gonna probably
Yeah.
chew up a Vicar immediately, you probably don't bother.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
no, he's gonna opt to hold anyway. But this is all things considered a pretty slow start here for Jess.
it is. Yeah,
Some
definitely.
burst in hand, but you want to have that consistent board pressure and use that burst later.
Yeah. I don't mind hold the bridge here, to be honest.
I think that's fine.
Takes
Immortalize.
immortalize.
I think those were the two choices. I
Yeah, I
personally would
agree.
lean to hold the
Yeah.
bridge as well. But yeah, I can understand.
Mhm. Yep. So we're gonna see the puffer fist played here. Very likely. My problem. I've so many times I've played this card and wondered why my predations were not turned to 0.
It does have a
Um, bec-
Naga-esque feature.
because
but
it is
yeah.
because it is a naga. Like this, it's like the character is a naga, but it's a pirate.
Yep. Pirate.
And this is
Pirate
really-
is the dominant force, the dominant genes in the card.
I agree. They wanted to make it a pirate card. They could have just. They probably could have just made a naga card as well. But hey,
Maybe we'll see dual
Fury,
tribes down the line someday. Never know. I mean, we've got
maybe,
amalgams,
maybe.
but that's a little different.
all tribe. Yeah. So I guess here we're gonna see it traded into the carriel, which does net a 1 health loss for Jess comparatively. Battle Vicar instantly slammed down. I like taking the Garden's Grace.
Well,
Do I like Grace or do I like
quality-
Surge? Surge is also really good here because
I
you
say
can pick up a
quality is
minion
a,
and heal.
a possibility too, because you have the wild pyro in hand.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
probably think to yourself, like, what situations am I going to need to equalize? Like, there's not a whole lot of stuff out there that you can't handle with a pyro and a maki roll in
I
this
agree.
deck. So
I agree.
yeah, and
Yeah, I thought the Grace would be interesting because it helped. Because it's just another thing. It's just something in hand that can help you with a little bit of inevitability, especially considering
Sure.
the fact that you have Light Ray. It's not the I think that that either 3 of them had merit. So yeah, the Slither Spear picked up. Now we have a lot of
Yeah.
predations that are discounted. Notably, we do have the Kurtrus in hand, and Kurtrus is going to be it might end up being a little bit of a problem potentially. So we're gonna see Noyo, Garden's Grace picked up,
yep, play that
and the
take
Light Ray.
I mean,
Yep.
so Kurtrus can eat the light ray,
Light Ray.
with one of the.
With one of
Oh, that Karya. Now you're sitting there thinking, do I go with a Karya to get a Z-Log, and then I can,
do you risk drawing the G-Log next turn and not getting the carrier?
I mean, the
Um,
math is obviously on your side that you will not draw the Z-Log. It's it's a 1 in 19, which is obviously just over
Yeah.
5%, but it would feel very bad.
I mean, there's arguments either way. I think Kurtrus is probably a better play in general.
It's definitely the safer play. And just having Kurtrus online for The hero power
So
gets a
good.
little bit stronger, obviously, than 1 damage. You're pushing
Yeah.
up 2+ damage a turn with your hero. So yeah, I think that's fine.
We also have to consider that there's predations and there's fury.
Yeah,
So like say
there's a lot of burst possibilities here.
Actually, okay, them going to 5/4 is very good here. The Slither Spear doesn't have to attack in, which is good. Yeah, I guess I think this 1/3 could just go into the 1/1 because he also has to keep board kind of as clear as possible. With Immortalized in stone in hand, he could just slam that, and that makes the Garden's Grace cost 2.
And not only that, it also really, really limits the power of the Z-Log, because the odds are that some of those 2 damage pops are going to hit the minions, and there'll be a chance to go ahead and clear the Z-Log afterwards. But
yeah,
let's see here.
although at the same, I mean, I guess if Jess wanted to empty his hand, he could probably clear a decent chunk of it before the Z-Log hits come in. But let's see what Chronic opts to go for. He hasn't really been touching many cards, so obviously just thinking.
Well, if he doesn't put stuff on board here, and Jess wants
could,
to just dump hand,
maybe he goes. Maybe
lethal.
he. Okay, maybe I would say maybe he can just go for Maki. I would say maybe there's a chance he just goes for like a Maki role play here. But he's just gonna go to clear the board and just leave a 3/1 up, and that is a bit dangerous. The Light Ray does come in as well, so that's nice. Carrier should get slammed here.
That is, yeah,
with the hero power.
Undoubtedly the play.
Yeah, he could potentially go like Predation hero power, clear the 5/5. Yeah. Definitely. And this is gonna be can definitely get a bit iffy, but there is the Maki roll. I don't think it could clear the whole board though.
It would clear all but 1 damage
of the Z-Log.
Yeah, so I mean the stocks would be gone, so you'd be left
good.
with
The stocks leaving, 6/1. That's that's a lot more manageable.
6/1. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's certainly not as damaging.
Yes, definitely. I agree. So he's gonna maybe opt for both predations, and then maybe he's gonna send that into the 3/1.
Yeah, debating, I guess, how to take the face damage. I think that makes sense if you're going to use the predation anyway.
Yeah, I like it.
Here's 8 damage to face now, which looks troubling, but here comes the near clear.
Yeah.
I'm sure you want to use Immortalize, but at the end of the day, if you use it here, those then start to be able to deal 3 damage, and there's just a whole lot of burst possibilities.
Yeah, so you just Maki roll your face for the first one, and then you have to Maki roll the Pyro for everything else.
I don't even mind necessarily if you let the
Pyro die.
Yeah, to get yourself one more time at the end here. I mean, go ahead and
I like that line.
To keep it alive
I like healing face here, but he's gonna keep the minion alive. That's fine. The lack of like the spell being used, the double predation being used last turn really removes the threat of a Steno. In this case, so I don't mind this play specifically. So we're gonna see probably the Herald now with this
Herald,
Fury.
Yeah, the Herald can clear and continue to activate the hero power.
And honestly, it's it's super close.
That's a lot of damage.
I would Spectral. I mean, I think well, no, he can't. I say you can't. I would say maybe you Spectral Sight, but you don't have anything that would get you lethal there.
No.
But
this is going to be 10 more damage to face.
No, it's just 8 more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he can't hero power.
Yeah, so
fortunately there wasn't
fortunately he has Immortalized and he has Garden's Graces, so he can buff up the little ones if he wants to, or however he chooses to do it.
Yeah, I think buffing the mid and the high value target there. So
I agree.
Both predations have been used. So
yes.
Barring something like a Smothering Starfish or a second Z-Log off the top here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
and
still look for that Z-Log.
Let's see what Spectral draws.
2 out of 14 chance here to top deck it, and then just see if your stocks go face. That's a thought. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you'd want to really play. Oh, gonna Well, that takes
We're not gonna get to play Zilog.
Yeah,
though,
so that
at
takes the
this point.
Zilog possibility off the table now.
Yeah, I don't know really what there is. I guess okay.
Steno?
If he draws double,
Steno would have been the other draw, I suppose, because if you could
I think
potentially hit the 1/2 and the 1/1 with Steno
I
and
think
then hit the 4
I
health.
think, but I think double Fel Barrage was lethal potentially
Double Fell Barrage would be lethal, yeah.
because he would have been able to kill the 2/1.
Wait,
Oh, it's lethal.
Oh, never mind. It's lethal anyway.
Oh.
Oh, he was playing to the glaive.
Direct prison glaive.
Yeah, because
Oh
he had
yeah, we
more
didn't
than
even
enough health.
consider that.
Yep. Sorry.
I didn't see that. Wow. Okay. Yeah, no, he played to the honorable kill out, which was very good.
I was gonna say
So that is
I
3-1.
tunneled on what's in the deck, and Jess was like, "What's on board? How do I make this a math problem instead of
How do I make
casino?"
this? How do I do broken things with the weapon?
So fans of IDK will be excited to see a 3-1 win. The first win of the week for them does change this. It was an 8-1 series Zilfs. Before this, it is now a 9-5. Yeah.
5.
Much closer than it was when we started.
Yeah.
Anfall pointed out, obviously, continue to be a curse for my teammates. That is, it is what it is. I've accepted my role, which is to curse my teammates forever. But
Sure.
we can check and see if Jess would like to do an interview.
For sure.
Since this is our only match of the night, to accurately represent what happened on screen there.
Definitely.
All right, let's see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Jess said no thank you to the interview. That's all right. So
Okay.
We'll just talk a little bit more about what we saw here.
Yeah, for sure. We can do that.
Yeah, I always hate to invite someone who lost, so I'm not going to invite Chronic. But
No.
I mean, so we just saw the Paladin lose 3 times in a row, and that is something that you brought up, Fish, during the decision-making process in between games 3 and 4 is, does he feel confident going ahead and playing that Paladin a third time after having lost with it twice? And even knowing that the Priest might not be the potential best matchup,
It was still a fit. It's into that specific deck. It's still a 50-50 with the Naga Priest. So
yeah, it's a tough call. I've had my own issues with Holy Paladin this season as well, where sometimes it feels like you are in these favored matchups, and the decks just do so much burst damage on the other side that even with all the healing, and he never found Cariel either, which would have been another fantastic card to have. I think only one of the 3 games he lived to the point where he could play Cariel anyway. Like he was dead. He was dead in the road game before that would have even been a factor. So
yeah, I was trying to look and see what this spread was for the Paladin, and that Paladin lost 3 favorables. Like it's a slight favored into both. It's a slight favor into Beast Hunter. It's the same thing for that, and it's even 33%. Now, granted, these are very low. I should go with more. I'll use more data for this, but.
And one thing too to think about is just how close that Paladin game was in game 1. If the smite didn't get eaten out of the hand, would have been lethal.
Yes.
So Chronic was just a breath away from getting that Paladin through, and that would have changed the entire complexion of this series. Instead of having to requeue the Paladin again, the Paladin is free. And maybe we see that Priest in game 2, something like that.
Agreed.
So,
yeah, for sure.
Just goes to show how how crucial winning game 1 is. I know everyone talks about it in Hero. Last Hero Standing, a lot of those series just go, I win game 1, you win game 2, I win game 3, etc. And so the winner of game 1 is often much more heavily favored. But in Legacy, it's a big factor too.
I agree.
At that point, you want to play the same deck, because obviously you queued it for a reason in most cases. You know, I mean, if you didn't go random, you queued it because you thought it had the best spread. So just because you lost doesn't mean you think it has a worse spread anymore.
I agree. Yeah.
But that happens sometimes.
No, I mean I respect I respect coming back out with the Paladin. I feel like it was the best. Obviously, it's your best chance to win. You're playing for points in THL.
Right.
You're playing. So him queuing that deck was definitely like the correct call. It just didn't fall his way.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Like, you know, I it it's I always feel like it's great when you can play when you play when you're playing a match and then you're like, oh my gosh, I lost this unfavorable. Oh, like I lost this favorable. Like I lost a couple favorables. It's like being able to shake it off and play it again. Like I probably would have queued the priest just to be like, man, I don't really want to play this paladin again right now. Like like but it's the correct thing to do is to play your matchups and play the best matchups and just say, well, maybe I'll draw better. Like or try to clear your headspace for sure. I think your points are very correct about conquest format with queuing. I feel like even just that burst, so like if you can get a good win in game one, like it can definitely like change how you see the whole series.
Yeah.
Like if from Jess's perspective, if he loses that game one against the Holy Paladin, which it's definitely was a very tight mat game. Like that big Myrmidon's there. Unfortunately, obviously not having taunt, can just if you can go over the top of it,
right,
then you can win. Like I think if that doesn't happen, if that paladin gets through, like okay, well maybe it's a little bit different complexion. Obviously, I think it was well. I think both players had good plans coming in with their bans, and it fell to Jess for the wins.
Yeah, I don't think either played poorly. I think
I don't necessarily think so either. Yeah. I think like both players having excellent seasons. Both at 4-2 up into this match. And it makes the series more interesting. Obviously, you would have loved to have seen your teammate close out the week with a win. If I was in your situation, I'd be like, oh man, like, these other ones now kind of have to matter a little bit. Obviously, everything matters for points going in towards playoffs. Your team is fighting for playoff spot in its conference.
Yeah, Zilfs are sitting like right on the threshold. Illidan's Death Knights are in a little bit more comfortable position. But at the same time, there's still 2 more weeks after this, so there's plenty of time if you're in the hunt now to continue fighting for points. It's not necessarily one match is going to doom you if you're within striking distance. If you're like 15-20 points out back from playoff contention right now, it's probably a little too late without 3 phenomenal weeks. But most teams are at least within sniffing distance of a playoff berth. So it is going to be an interesting final few weeks to see.
It will be
what teams shake out of each conference here. It is going to be 4 teams from each conference. The top 3 will all get a bye, as will the highest point getting team that did not win their conference. So there's still plenty of things to play for, plenty of reasons to find your confidence going to the playoffs, and hopefully we'll see a more consistent, stable meta here the rest of the way. Maybe see like 1 or 2 cards get nerfed, but I haven't seen anything that really strikes me as something that needs a nerf immediately out of this mini set.
Yeah, I agree. I really haven't.
Yeah, it feels like we might be looking at a fairly stable meta throughout the rest of the THL season. So that's always nice. It starts to settle down a little bit, and you don't have to play the I don't know what to make for a lineup because I have to submit in 4 hours. It's Thursday and we just got nerfs yesterday every other week. So some people thrive on that though.
And then last season the mini set threw the whole meta on its head, and for players like myself, when that happens, it's just very difficult. It's like if you're slow at adaptation, it really hurts.
Definitely.
Because I personally know, because all of my play for my matches, it was significantly more harder to like plan lineups, and the type of player, the way that I plan for things, like It's not always great when something like that happens. It
For sure.
it makes me overthink.
Well,
So yeah, obviously congrats to Jespin
Definitely.
on getting the win. And that's all we have for our matches.
yep, we had one exciting match. Didn't quite make it to game 5, though it was still exciting for the 4 games we saw. 3-1. Jespin wins, moves on to 5-2. Chronic falls to 4-3. They are 4 seeds, by the way. That obviously was a very high
Oh
quality series. That does
yeah,
not indicative
that,
of what you would
yeah.
expect from 4
That
seeds.
wasn't stated, but that was a 5. That was a 4 seed
Yeah,
match.
these are both extremely high level
Yeah,
players, and I think
like
the gameplay definitely showed that.
yeah.
So that will do it for us this evening. Thank you, Fish, for being with me tonight, and hopefully we'll be back again with at least a match or two next week. And as far as I know, we will be back tomorrow with Salty Saturday. That is hosted by Wild Nine.
I
So
don't believe we have matches.
So we'll be back tomorrow with Salty Saturday because I believe in you, THL. Go ahead and get at us if you
Yeah.
want to get on stream because we want to have something to show you. So let us know if
Mhm.
you're available, interested in playing on stream tomorrow night, 8, 9, 10-ish p.m. Eastern, depending on, when you're playing. So let us know. We will talk to you later. See you next weekend. Have a good night.
Bye, bye, everybody.